My boys, one of my first conscious memories as a kid was getting a Wii remote hurled at my face. It was crazy. I deadass needed stitches. My eyebrow doesn't grow hair in that spot anymore. But because of that, I think I trauma bonded with Nintendo. That Wiimote to the face was my first Nintendo memory. It jump-started my little 5-year-old consciousness. And from there, as I grew up, some of my happiest memories were built around Nintendo. And at the core of each of those memories is a character. I can't think of Kid Icarus Uprising without remembering some of the absolute zingers that Pit would spit. I can't think of Mario without getting chills when I remember he's just an Italian plumber who has no problem squaring up against anything in his way. And I can't think about Pikmin without, wow, that's Olimar's cannon size. Wow, that's crazy. Regardless though, Nintendo characters have such a presence, such an aura. It's not even nostalgia talking because I find myself still able to become attached and resonate with characters from newer games and even older titles that I'm just recently experiencing. Although, I exclaim, there's one character I never really cared for, and maybe I'm crazy for this, maybe I'm bugging, but this character also kind of grossed me out.
Okay.
Ew. Maybe this sounds stupid, but I never understood Donkey Kong. From my birth to the moment I am writing this, there have only been 6 Donkey Kong games that have released on console, 50% of which use this controller. Take that how you will. DK's handheld games are even more lackluster. There's only been 2, and were these even worth bringing up? If they were, I guess I should also mention the 7 Mario vs. Donkey Kong games. I'm not gonna say anything about them. I just felt obligated to mention them. But when you look at every DK game that released in my entire life, maybe you can understand why growing up I didn't care about Donkey Kong, but I'll still explain why. It's because I just didn't give a fuck. I don't mean for that to sound harsh, but seriously, I never knew what a Donkey Kong game was supposed to be. My entire life, this poor chump of an ape has been exiled to being the face of rhythm in puzzle games and a supporting character in Mario spin-offs sometimes. It always seemed to me as if Donkey Kong's prime was in the past. I never got to experience the Donkey Kong Country games growing up. I always heard so many people sing their praises as some of gaming's best titles ever made, but I don't know, I never saw the same appeal. They always just felt before my time. Back then, I'm sure them graphics were bananas, but to my eyes, it just looks like I've consumed 8 Benadryl. 9 Benadryl. Now, out of those 15 Donkey Kong games that released from 2002 to early 2025, none attempted a 3D DK game, and only 2 of them were games that sought to follow the iconic gameplay of the Donkey Kong Country games, which these are great games. They are fun, legitimately challenging 2D platformers. I got to experience them both more recently during the Switch's life, and you know, after playing them, I did feel like I somewhat understood what others felt when they played the older Donkey Kong Country games back in the day. But I still did not care about Donkey Kong. I did not feel an attachment to this character, and I could never put my finger on it until... Yeah, actually, exactly that. It wasn't until Nintendo started pushing this new Donkey Kong design that I realized, god damn it, this motherfucker is ugly. And it's not even because I chose the least flattering Donkey Kong.png. No, to me, this design is just ugly. Beady eyes, a mouthful of molars, this oddly slim-toned muscle build, and that fuck-ass Jimmy Neutron cut. It's not cute, it's not comforting. I wouldn't want to be within a square mile of this thing. But now, we have a more expressive feeling DK. Eyes that don't feel like they're bulging out of his skull. He's still got a mouthful of molars, but they're more rounded instead of sharp squares. And his build isn't slim and muscular, but you know, he's got a little heft to him. He feels like a beefcake. His hair still kind of gives Jimmy Neutron vibes, but it's a bit more scruffy and looks messy, rather than looking like he put globs of hair gel on his head and just made one spike. I thought that this was a pretty solid DK model, but then Nintendo went even further beyond and made this design even better by polishing it up for his new game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. This flicked a switch in my brain that eviscerated every fiber of doubt I have ever had about Donkey Kong. The neurons in my brain must have felt like This gorilla, he can do it! Although, I gotta be honest, years ago, when the rumors of a new 3D Donkey Kong game were first starting to spread, I was interested to see what that would look like, but I wasn't invested in the idea. I thought that it would be a cool game for people more appreciative of Donkey Kong, but I knew it probably wasn't gonna be for me. Until Wednesday, April 2nd at 9 in the morning when I saw this. Oh my god, I need it. If this was just another Donkey Kong game in 3D where you only run and jump and punch bad guys, I don't think I would have been as interested. And for the first minute of this trailer, I wasn't biting. Until I saw this crazy ape pillar into the ground and punch his way out. I was like, whoa. That's pretty neat. There's destructible environments. And then that motherfucker ripped out a piece of the earth and then used it to destroy more of the environment around him. I was like, oh wow, destructible environments aren't gonna be limited to certain spots. And then I saw a video where DK deadass mowed down a whole mountain. And I realized you're pretty much gonna be able to rip apart this whole map, and it clicked. They did it. They finally did it. They made this game feel like you're actually controlling a fucking behemoth of a gorilla with 2 pickup trucks for arms. They made Donkey Kong feel like Donkey Kong. This doesn't really give the best first impression. Oh my god, no more fucking bongo controller, rhythm game, mini Mario toy, puzzle bullshit ever again.
I kind of like the bongos though.
Yeah, me too, actually. Could you go get those back? I am all in on this game. Hell, I said in my last video, I don't know why Mario Kart is 80 and DK is 70 when this clearly looks like the more intensive game. But hey, 70's fine by me. God, I would pay 90 for this, but hey, Nintendo, I'm just joking around. It's hyperbole. Don't take that serious. But I am in love with the presentation of this game. I love how the gameplay is looking, but there's one more aspect of this game that's intriguing me in a style similar to a cartoon character floating towards a pie in a windowsill. The story. At this time, all we have are breadcrumbs to go off of, but people are starting to piece together the whole loaf. And oh man! Though before I get to the green elephant-sized crocodile in the room, there's something else I want to bring up, because as I was writing this, some new information came to light where Nintendo of Korea, for some reason, features a different artwork of Donkey Kong Bonanza, where instead of this purple rock on DK's shoulder, it's this girl who looks a lot like a young Pauline. Is it actually Pauline or a girl who just so happens to look like her, or maybe Pauline's daughter? I don't know. I'm not going to get that deep into it. People are very passionate about their DK continuity. It's just exciting that we're probably going to get to see DK in this sweet, wholesome protector role. More people are going to get to see that Donkey Kong is more than just a dumb, strong monkey who steals toys. No, he's a dumb, strong monkey with a heart. Other than that, though, the story is really catching my eye because of the potential inclusion of King K. Rool. Again, I wasn't around in 1994 for the Donkey Kong Country games. I was -8. So of course, growing up, I never understood the hype around King K. Rool. I didn't get why so many people wanted him in Smash. It wasn't until he was actually in Smash that I fully realized how important he is to the Donkey Kong series. He's DK's Bowser, and I was never able to fully grasp that because the entire time I've been alive, King K has not been used. Other than Smash, the last time we saw this guy was 16 years ago in Mario Baseball. That's like if after Mario 64, we never saw Bowser again until Mario and Sonic at the 2016 Olympics. King K's inclusion in Smash definitely put a lot more eyes on him, mine included, and I bet a lot of people like me are gonna want to see more of him because he's just that guy. He's cartoonishly evil. which is the perfect contrast to DK's vibe of being this simple-minded behemoth with a heart of gold. Don't even get me started on Gangplank Galleon. Man, all these years later, that track still gives me chills. My chills had chills on them when I went back and rewatched King K. Rool's character reveal trailer. You know, when at the end, him and DK are running on all fours toward another, leaping into the air and colliding punches so powerful it made a shockwave. That is who I want to face off against in DK Bonanza, and while it is still too early to tell, it seems possible. Cause here in America, Nintendo's website says, who is Voidco and what do they really want in regards to the villains in DK Bonanza? But Nintendo of France's website words this differently by saying, who is behind Voidco? There's also this dialogue with Cranky Kong who says he knew who to blame for the missing bananas, but just needed to suss out where he ran to hide. And this. Like, come on, King K, please, please come. Not like that. Even if he's not the big villain, I hope that he's gonna at least make some sort of appearance. Again though, we gotta wait and find out more. I just really had to exert this excitement I have towards Donkey Kong, and I wanted to gauge how you guys are feeling about it. So my boys, if you feel the same and you would donate both of your kidneys to play this game, go yell at me in the comments. And if by some chance you're actually not a fan of how this game looks so far, that is completely valid. So go yell at me in the comments so I can understand why. But as always, take care of yourselves.